Hello everyone. Back again. Going to do some picks today for UFC 312. Strickland versus Duplessis. I missed last week's just because I left it too late. I forgot that the card was on really early. But we're back to it this week now. I'm gonna carry on doing the cards throughout. So we'll start off with the first fight, and we've got Young Sung Park versus Tumen Dembarel in the flyweights. Um, so having looked at these two, I feel like Young Sung Park's probably fought the better competition than Truman Dembrell, even though they've both come through the road to UFC. Um, I don't think it's the highest level competition on the road to UFC, like compared to Contender Series and stuff like that. But I do think Young Sung Park's probably fought the better competition, and he's coming out of a stronger scene in Korea compared to Mongolia. I don't know where Tumen Demirel's been fighting too much. And I watched him in his last fight, Tumen Demirel, and I wasn't too impressed. I thought he was just like overthrowing, not super technical, although he must be decent enough to get to UFC, obviously. And I think he's had some good finishes as well in the road to UFC. But yeah, for this fight, I think I'm going to go with Young Sung Park. He has had, he didn't fight in 2024 though. He had like a year off, which is a little bit concerning. I wonder if there's any ring rust or anything there like that. I know Julian Dembarel did fought against Carlos Hernandez, who's pretty decent to be fair actually for a flyweight. I think Hernandez was really touching him up in the first round, and then he gassed out a little bit and started like backing off. So maybe it's a little bit closer than I thought originally. But I am gonna go with Young Sung Park. I think he's the better prospect coming out of a better scene as well in Korea. So yeah, first fight, Young Sung Park. Yeah. Next fight we've got Salkild versus Jubilee, and another one from the road to UFC. Um, is Jubilee, and yeah, I think I'd go with Salkild on this. Just once again, coming from a better scene, better competition in his fights. Um, looks like he's had some good wins as well. It's good, solid opposition. Jubilee, he's going through that road to UFC. He's fighting guys who've got good records, but where are they building these records, and who are they fighting against to get to like 13-2? Um, yeah, I think the odds are a bit rubbish on this fight anyway. So even though Gusal killed, I probably won't put it on because I think he's like 1-5, so it doesn't matter too much. So next fight we've got Juice versus Mikhailov. Um, I've had a look at this fight and I think I'm going to lean to Juice. I think he's been in the UFC for a few fights now, if I'm not mistaken. And his last fight was just a loss to Brian Battle, and Brian Battle's pretty decent, so you can't hold that against him. And he's had a couple of wins as well. Um, Mikhailov, he's just coming out of the scene in Australia now. He's had a win on Contender Series, Triangle Choke. Lost a few fights ago by KO. Um, yeah, and the records of the guys he's fighting are great. I just think Juice is probably going to have too much experience for him. Fought the better guys. Used not his debut like Mikhailov as well, which can have a factor. So yeah, we've got Kevin Juice on that one. Next fight, Cody Steele versus Rongzu. I like Cody Steele. Watched a few of his grappling matches a few years ago now, so I've known about him for quite a while. I like watching these grapplers who are coming in, like Damien Anderson as well. He's going to be a good one, isn't he? I think he's trying to get on the Contender Series for this time. And yeah, Cody Steele's training at a good gym, training with Marab and stuff at Syndicate. Coming in off a good KO on the Contender Series against a decent guy. And I think, yeah, he's a grappler and he's been getting a lot of finishes on the feet. So I don't even think he's shown where he's best at yet. Rongzu got a lot of experience, 25-6, but once again, it's one of these Chinese records, and I just don't think the level of competition is hard to judge, isn't it? And like, look, he's fighting guys who are 18-6, but then 2-7 in between. Like, it doesn't make sense, does it? It's just you're just fighting anyone. You're probably just showing up on the day, not even knowing you're fighting on these Chinese shows. I don't know. But then come a few wins on road to UFC, and then got finished in his last fight, first fight in the UFC. And I just think, yeah, Cody Steele, good prospects. They're gonna want to push him, and I'm gonna go with Cody Steele. Next fight, Alexander Topuria versus Colby Thickness, however you pronounce that. Good fight, entertaining. I'm gonna like because you're invested in it. That's what makes it a good fight a lot of the times, isn't it? Is being invested in it. Bit of a storyline. So to put Ilya's brother versus Volk's training partner or student or whatever. Topuria is supposed to be really good, isn't he? But how can you judge it off the guys who he's fought? 1-9 and stuff. This is like his first real fight, so yeah, he's probably going to be really good, and I do think he'll probably win. But how do you know? This is like his first real fight, isn't it? And it's in the UFC. And Colby, even though I think he's only been signed to a one fight contract as well, so they probably UFC are probably hoping that Topuria wins, aren't they? For the storylines and stuff, but he's got some good wins. Colby, he's fought a bit better competition and decent amateur career as well, and fought the IMAS and stuff. So yeah, I think he's got a lot more experience in actual MMA fighting, and that could play in his favour. And I think Topuria is like a 1-4 favourite as well. It's like I'm not going to take that risk, even though I think he'll probably win because of what I've heard of him when you watch other people talk about him. But yeah, I'll stay away from that one, even though I think Topuria will probably win. Next fight, Kong Wang versus Bruno Brazil. Kong Wang, favourite again. She was favourite last time out and she got beat, and I think she was a bigger favourite. She was like 1-6 last time. That's why you don't pick them, and I think she's like 1-4 again. I think Bruno Brazil's coming up from strawweight to flyweight, so Kong Wang's probably going to win, but you never know now, especially after last time beating favourite. I'd probably stay away from that one, even though I think Kong Wang will win. Next fight, really good fight this. I feel like this one should have been on the main card, over like the Jimmy Crute or whatever. But Tom Nolan versus Borshev. This is going to be a really good fight, this one. I think both strikers, Tom Nolan's a bit more a raw striker, but he's got really good pressure. And that can break people, that. But I think Borshev's just a bit too experienced. He's like, if I'm not wrong, he's had like world titles in kickboxing and stuff like that as well. And yeah, I think he's a bit more durable, isn't he? I think Tom Nolan's been finished a few times, or at least once. Yeah, he got finished by Nicholas Motta in the UFC. And he's been finished in his amateur career. Not that that means much, but he's still been knocked out. But I like him. I like his style. I think if he doesn't get finished, I think he'll beat a lot of people. And but Borshev, I think he's really tough. He got dropped by Chase Hooper, I think, before he got finished. But he's had some tough fights, and I think a lot of the times, I know he got dropped by Chase Hooper, then submitted. But the other guys, like Mike Davis, I can't remember how that fight went, but Mike Davis is a really good grappler. And Casey, I remember that fight because Casey was a really good striker, and towards the end of his UFC career, he just started grappling everybody. I think that was one of them. But yeah, I think Borshev's just got the experience, and I think he could win. But I'm not sure how confident I am in it. I like that Tom Nolan, so I'm not sure if I'll put that one on my final bet. Next fight, you got Jack Jenkins and Gabriel Santos, another one what I think could have been on the main card. Good fight, two promising prospects. I think Gabriel Santos is a bit younger, and he's come in with one win and two losses in UFC, but he's lost against two really good guys in a row, split decision. What I think some people thought he might have won, and then David Onama, where I think he was doing well, and then gassed out and then got finished. But yeah, he's even had some good wins before coming into UFC as well against Elvis Brenner. You've seen him in the UFC and he looks pretty decent. That name rings a bell, but yeah, I wonder if he's in the UFC now. No, probably just another one. Same name. But yeah, Jack Jenkins, really good as well. Fought some good guys. Herbert Burns, you can't take much stock in that win because don't know if Herbert Burns, never rated him. But yeah, you got I lost to Shepe Mariscal. I think he broke his arm in that fight. Can't really remember how it was going. I think he might have been doing alright until then. Split decision against Jamal Amos, and I think he was that was another one where it could have gone the other way, I think. So yeah, I don't think he's fought as good as competition in the UFC as Gabriel Santos has fought. And he's getting close decisions. It's going to be a close fight, this one. Hard to pick. I probably lean towards Gabriel Santos, but I might just leave it out just because I think it could go either way, that one. Next fight, Jake Matthews versus Prado. Prado, young guy, like 22, isn't he? Or something like that. 22, Argentinian. Lost his two fights out of three in the UFC against Malaki and Zellhuber. It's hard to judge these young guys though, because 22, you're gonna be making leaps from fight to fight in terms of technical progress and stuff like that, and just experience. It's gonna be bigger leaps. But I think Jake Matthews, he's really experienced. He's been around a long time in the UFC now. He's had a lot of fights in the UFC, and he's fought really good guys, and he's beat some good guys as well. You know what I mean? He's beat some really good guys, and he's still only 30. I think he got signed really young, didn't he? There was a lot of hype with him. But I think, yeah, 30. He's had a lot of fights in the UFC against really good guys. I think he's going to have a massive experience advantage. So I'm going to go with Jake Matthews on that one. Let's go next fight. We've got Jimmy Crute versus Bellato. So I know Jimmy Crute, he's not fought for a while, if I'm right. Yes, 2023. Coming off 3 losses and a draw. I remember that first Menifield fight. That was a scrap. That was a good entertaining fight. But I don't think Menifield's been doing great, has he? He's lost his last 2, and he's been finished in his last 2. So take from that what you will. But he's had a couple of good wins. He finished Paul Craig. I remember that fight. That was when he was first coming in, wasn't it? And he had a lot of hype behind him though. But that was a long time ago, and I think he was half retired, wasn't he? I think he was on about retiring and calling it a day. And I think if you're half out, what does that say about your confidence levels and stuff like that? And I think it's hard to come back from. It's going to be hard to come back from that. Whereas Bellato, I think he's on the up, isn't he? He's 29. He's had some good wins. I don't think this is a great win because he's been finished by everyone, this man, hasn't he? But finish on the Contender Series coming in. Some good wins before that. And I think he's only lost to the same guy twice, yeah, Vito Pacino, who's also in the UFC. He's been finishing both them fights, but maybe that guy just got his number, you know what I mean? and he got finished by him, and he took a fight against him again on the Contender Series. Like, that shows a bit of confidence in your own ability, and I think he's just on the up. So yeah, I think I'll go Petrino in that one. Not Petrino, Bellato. Petrino was beat him, innit? Yeah, I think I'll go Bellato in that one. Next fight, we got Talison Teixeira versus Justin Tafa. I think this is going to be an entertaining fight. Heavyweights, both seem. Well, I know Justin Tafa's a striker. This Talison Teixeira looks like a striker, coming in 7-0, but the level of competition is just. Who are these people? Other than this guy who beat 6-1 on Contender Series, 4-15 and stuff like that. It's like, who's he fought? He's not had a proper fight yet. Well, this guy might have been decent. But yeah, again, look at this guy. He was 6-1, but look at the guys he was fighting to get that record. So I think Justin Tafa's been around, and he's fought some tough guys, and I think the guys who usually beat him want to wrestle him a little bit, grind him out. And he's beat taller fighters before. I know that guy's 6'7", but he beat that Austin Lane and he finished him. He's like 6'6". So, and he's fast, isn't he? He's got fast hands, Tafa, and he'll be, if he did want to wrestle him, it's still going to be hard to wrestle. And if this Talison Teixeira does plan on wrestling him or trying to take him down, he's never done that. But he doesn't look like he's done that before, because he's finished everyone on the feet. And I think on this Contender Series fight, he got hit a few times, and I think if you're getting a hit by Tafa, it's going to be a different story. Heavyweight though, innit? Can go either way. A bit risky. I think Tafa's the underdog, but I'll go Tafa probably if I put it on. But it is heavyweight, so it could go either way. Next fight, you got Weili Zhang versus Tatiana Suarez. At first, I was thinking Weili Zhang, but then I watched a few highlights of my recent fights, just to like recap, get fresh in my head. And even in the last fight against Zhang, the other Chinese girl, she got took down for quite a few times, and held down a little bit. But I think if Tatiana Suarez can get her down like she's been taken down by these other fighters, I think Tatiana Suarez will be able to hold her down, if not get a sub. The only thing is, Tatiana Suarez a bit inactive again, and I don't think she's ever fought 5 rounds. And I do see this one going into the 4th and 5th. It's like, can you keep that cardio and keep hitting those takedowns? Because you know Weili Zhang she can go for 5. So there's questions around it, but I do feel like Tatiana Suarez is just a wrestling. I think she'll be able to hold her down for most of the rounds, enough to get a decision. But it's like one of those, isn't it? Is she gonna hold her down, not do any damage? Weili Zhang gets up and then starts hitting her and then steals the rounds. I think that's the risk with it as well. I think Weili Zhang can definitely win in that way, or Tatiana Suarez just holds her down long enough in the rounds and maybe gets a sub as well. So I think I'll lean to Tatiana Suarez on that one. And then you got your main event, Du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. Close fight the last time, but I feel like it's probably going to go the same way again. I think Du Plessis just finds a way to win. I think he's relentless in it. I think Sean Strickland's relentless as well in his own ways, but he's a bit more. Don't know what the best way to describe it. I think Du Plessis is just gonna want it more. I think he's gonna want it more mentally. He's not got a prettiest style to fight, but I think I think he's just better here, better in the head, like, well, the better state of mind to get it done. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with on that one. Strickland could win, but I think Du Plessis got more ways to win, and I think he'll keep the pressure on Strickland enough and just be a bit more active. He's just got the better mindset. Yeah, so that's my picks. Let's see what odds we're getting on them. remember, we're not going to put them all on depending on the odds and what the odds are saying. So I'll start a new one. Well, we've won this one. I've already put them on, but we'll go through them again because I've been tossing and turning between a few of them, and even if I'm going to put them on. So first fight, Young Sung Park versus Chuman Dembrel. I think we will put this fight on, and we're gonna go Young Sung Park, even though he's been out for a year or so. I just feel like he's the better prospect. He's gonna come in, and he should be able to get the job done. More well rounded. Then we got Salkilde versus Jubilee. I'm gonna go Salkilde, but I'm not putting it on for 1-5. I just think you never know, do you? It's fighting at the end of the day. Anyone can win, and it's not really worth a couple extra quid. Next fight we got Mikhailov versus Juice. I think we're gonna go Juice. Almost 3-1 now. I think the odds have shifted even more in Juice's favour. So we'll see what it's saying at the end in terms of it's worth adding onto the accumulator. We got Cody Steele. So we're gonna put on for that. I'm not gonna put the Topuria fight on, even though I think Topuria will win. But it's 1-4. Too many questions. You don't know who's gonna react or fight in his debut in the UFC in his toughest fight by far today. So next fight, Wang Kong versus Brazil. Not gonna put that on. Yeah, the odds are too high. We was gonna go Kong, but odds are too high. Tom Nolan versus Borshev. Now this is where it gets tricky because I do think it's like a 50. Well, it's not 50. I'd say it's a slight favourite in Borshev's favour, but the odds are going to massively boost our overall odds. So we'll leave it for now. We'll see what odds we're getting without it, and then we'll put it in at the end and see how it goes up. So now we've got Santos versus Jack Jenkins. Same thing. We'll leave it for now, and then maybe we'll put it in at the end. I do think Santos, but I think it's a close one that could go either way. Matthews versus Prado. We're going to go Matthews. Jimmy Crute versus Bellato. We're going to go Bellato. Taffa versus Tejura. Slight underdog just in Taffa. But again, it's heavy. Excuse me. It's heavyweight MMA, so it could go either way. So we'll leave that out for a second, and then we'll come back to it. Zhang Weili versus Suarez. Oh, we're getting same odds now, so we'll go Suarez on that. And then Duplessis versus Strickland. We'll go Duplessis. So we're getting just under 18-1, so 17-1. Let's say round it down. 10 on that, I'll get you 180 back. Not a bad return, but when I'm putting bets on, it's like I do it because I want to be excited by it. You know what I mean? I want to win a fair bit. It's like you're betting for fun, aren't you? At the end of the day, you're not. I don't know. You're betting for fun mainly, and you want like a big return. That's how I see it anyway. Like, cause if you're betting for like 100 quid, I just feel like you may as well just keep your tenner. But 170 is not too bad. Charge 200 in it, but I feel like I want a bit more. So, this is where you start taking more risks. You don't have to. You could put that on now, and I still think there's risks on that. Obviously, it's fighting. Anything can happen. But I'm happy with those picks. It's not like I feel like them guys are going to win, even though it could go either way. It's betting, isn't it? If you knew everything what was going to happen, then everyone would be doing it and we'd all be rich. But yeah, them are my more confident picks, and you're getting 17.8-1. So now let's put some risks on and see what we're getting there. So I think Justin Taffa gets it done. I really do think major experience advantage, power. He's beat the tall guys before in Australia. It's his debut. I think there's enough going in Taffa's favour for me that I'm going to pick Taffa. And that bumps it up to 36 to 1. So now you're getting 360 back. And that's a decent amount, isn't it? 360 quid's nice. So you could just put that on. Am I going to take more risks? Probably. And this is where my downfall always is. It's always one or two what let me down, and I should probably just leave the others off, but I can't do it. So where do I want to take the risk? I'm gonna probably put one more on, and it's gonna either be Borshev or Santos. So I feel like Borshev's got they're both stand-up fighters, Tom Nolan and Borshev. Borshev's got a lot more experience. And I think Santos for Jenkins. Jenkins is a really good kicker as well, and he likes those calf kicks. And I think those calf kicks can change a fight, just one of them. So he kicks him, does damage to the leg, and then Santos is really hurt. And that changes the fight massively. So I think there's well, you could say that about Nolan and Borshev, couldn't you? If Tom Nolan lands a big shot and drops Borshev like Chase Hooper did, that could change the fight. But I think Borshev's shown that he's tough enough and he's gritty enough. And if it is going to be a stand-up fight, I think you lean with the experience. And it's but it's a better odds than Gabriel Santos as well. So I think I might go Borshev on that one. Even though I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Nolan won. He's got good style. If he does win, I imagine it's going to be a really good fight, and I'll be more hyped about him going forward. Let's see for fun what it's going to be if I put Santos on as well. So that's it. It's like 960, 970. But yeah, I'm just going to take one off. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with this for 660. Well, almost 670. If I put a 10 on this, I'm going to get 677 back. So let's just recap what I'm going to go for. So it's Park, Duce, Steele, Matthews, Bellato, Suarez, Plessis, Taffa. Well, you don't have to do the Taffa one. You don't have to do any of them, but you could go without that and go for like your 170 quid, or you could put Taffa on and Borshev, and then you're going for 670. And I think that's a decent amount. What gets me excited, you know what I mean? I'm happy with that. So I think them are the bets I'm going to put on. So yeah, we'll be watching along. If you think otherwise, opposite to me, comment. Let me know. I know a lot of my students and that. You always have different opinions to me. Put it down below. Let's see what you're going for. Yeah, and we'll see. Maybe we'll start getting like a bit of a pool going as well, where we can all make our picks, put them in, and then whoever gets the most right, they win the pot. Yeah, maybe we'll start doing our own thing like that in the gym as well. But yeah, if I don't know you and you're watching this video, like and subscribe. We'll get more videos out for the cards coming up. And like I was saying, we're not just gonna do UFC. We're gonna do Cage Warriors and stuff like that. Which I think is more entertaining than the UFC at the minute. And you get to know each fighter. Every card, it's the same guys fighting. I like that. It's like old, how UFC used to be before they got 5 million fighters on and you don't know any of them are. But yeah, so give it a like, give it a subscribe if you're new, and see you next time.